Reno on here today's yet again another build showcase, and it's Wisp Prime. So let us immediately start. There are two builds I'm going to show you today. Let's start with the first one. The first build is the Buffer Wisp. So this is a bunch of ability strength build setup. Growing power for ability strength, blind rage, Nancy fortitude, and Umbra intensify. This is all going to give you ability strength. You have Prime Footed for knockback immunity, adaptation for 9% DR. You have Fused Reservoir, which is the augment for our first ability, allow you to spawn all three reservoirs, which is quite nice. If you think this is useless, you can remove this for the Umbra Fiber. This will buff Vitality and Intensify. It will give you more strength, more health, complement Arcane Bellicose quite a lot, and it will give you some armor, which adds another layer of DR. Prime Continuity, this is the only duration mod. This is more than enough. She's not really that duration hungry, and her duration scaling isn't the greatest. And Arcane Stretch for ability range, this is also more than enough. You don't need a lot of range on her, and gives you the energy economy when you proc electricity. We will proc electricity from her first ability, the electricity mod. This has a guaranteed chance to proc electricity. You can see it at the very bottom. Shock mod, status chance 100% electricity. So when you're near enemies, you're going to zap them. 100% chance to proc electricity triggers this. And we did remove her fourth ability for Nourish. Nourish has the energy multiplier, which will multiply the energy to Arcane Stretch, giving you more energy over time. Gives you free viral, and also when enemies shoot you, release a shockwave that will stagger enemies and proc viral on them. Really nice synergy. And that's it. I think I explained everything here. Those are the mods. For the Arcane Bellicose, for every 250 health, you get ability strength, which is quite nice on a Warframe that has the ability to give herself a lot of health. So you're going to use her first ability, you're going to get some ability strength from this, then you're going to use it again to get yourself even more ability strength. Then you start getting yourself growing power stack and gets yourself some molt augmented stacks. With that, you can just recast your first ability, and this will give you like around nearly 60% ability strength, which is equal to molt augmented. And yeah, it's a really nice synergy to have. She is a very ability strength hungry to give yourself bigger fire rate, attack speed, movement speed, bigger health and health regen, and a stronger Nourish. That's it. Those are the Arcanes. And I think I explained everything here. She isn't really that duration hungry. Her wand has 40 seconds duration. You can easily recast this, and you can easily refresh this just going near your wand. Your second ability has a horrible duration scaling, so I will not recommend putting so much duration to make this thing viable. Third ability doesn't really care about duration, and fourth ability has 30 seconds duration. You can easily recast this thing as well. So that's it. Those are the abilities, the stats here, the mods, the Arcane, and it's time for me to show you the second setup. The second setup, which is the Rhino Roar setup, this is a caster setup. The main mod here is the Cataclysmic Gate, which is an augment for fourth ability. So your fourth ability is no longer a laser. What it is you spawn in a small sun that constantly does damage in a large radius. It constantly procs heat, radiation, electricity, and corrosion status effects. And it does like solid damage, but I made it do even more damage by removing her second ability for Rhino Roar, giving it much stronger burst damage and tick damage from electricity and heat, which is quite nice. Her fourth ability does indeed proc heat, so it's quite nice to have Arcane Vitality. When you proc 1 heat on your ability, you'll proc 2 heat instead. Really good. And our first ability and her fourth ability will proc electricity, which Arcane Stretch is also nice to have, giving you constant energy regeneration, and it gives you range, which is also a really good idea. Overextended does reduce your ability strength, but it gives us a ton of ability range, and I did fix our ability strength problems by having growing power, blind range, and once we start killing enemies, we get ability strength from Molt Augmented. Uber Intensify for ability strength as well is here. Prime Continuity is more than enough ability duration, and Prime Flow allowing you to spam all of her abilities. And that's it. Those are the mods. For the Arcane Hotshot is quite nice, so you can turn her into both caster and a buffer. What it does is when you proc heat status effect with ability, you get critical chance on your weapons. This stacks up all the way up to 50, and 6 times 50, that's 300% critical chance for all of your weapons, which is quite nice. And you can easily sustain this with her fourth ability, which constantly procs heat. So maintaining this is quite easy with her. Like in seconds you're going to get this thing to cap. It's quite nice. And not only that, her first ability gives you the fire rate and the attack speed and movements and other stuff, right? And we also have Rhino Roar giving us power. So it's a both caster and a buffer setup, which is quite nice. And there's a bunch of synergies here. Multi-augmented ability strength, and yeah, that's it with the Arcane's stats here. The range is much higher, strength is nerfed compared to the Nourish setup. Duration is more than enough for all of these abilities. Her first ability is 46 seconds, more than enough. 46 seconds. This doesn't care that much for ability duration, and this lasts for 15 seconds. The scaling with duration on this ability is not the greatest, and believe me, you don't need to put so much effort into duration scaling with this. Just recast, it's much nicer. And that's it. That's it here, stats, mods, the Arcane, and it's time for me to show you all of these builds against the units. Alright, let's start. This is the Nourish ability strength setup. So you're going to start with 851 health at the beginning and 20% ability strength from Arcane Bellicose right over here. You're going to place down your first ability, which will give you Vitality Moth. That will increase your health. Now your health is 2000 and Arcane Bellicose is 48%. Now if I were to shoot an enemy to get the growing power, recast my first ability, now my ability strength is 52% from Arcane Bellicose and my health is nearly 2200. Really nice. You're going to get near enemies to proc the Shock Moth, guaranteed chance to proc Electricity, which will give you a stack of Arcane Stretch. Arcane Stretch will constantly regenerate your energy per second. You will then use your fourth ability, which is Nourish. It will multiply the energy regen, giving you a permanent energy regeneration. You can easily recast Nourish, and you can easily recast your Shock Mod by just being near your first ability or recasting it in front of you. Third ability, blind enemies, shoot them. You'll release the Wisps that will just start chaining around, helping you with DPS. And your second ability, which is the Ghost. When you use it, you're invisible and every enemy is going to start shooting your Ghost. That's it. That's the first setup. Now it's time for me to show you the second one. The second setup, this is the Cataclysmic Gate setup, the Caster Buffer setup. You're going to place down your mods. The Haste mod will give your fourth ability Corrosion procs, and Shock and Vitality 1 is going to give it 25% more damage each, which is quite nice. You can only have 3 of these guys out. You cannot have more of these guys. There it is. Large radius, constantly generating corrosion, radiation, heat, and electricity. Really nice. Does pretty solid damage, and you can also buff the damage with Rhino Roar. Now I'm going to spawn some units. Use my fourth ability. Boom, boom. You can see a bunch of numbers over there. It's killing all the weaker units in seconds. Bombard, also dead. Heavy Gunner, nearly dead. It's quite powerful. It's going to help you out a lot with clear. It does have LOS. And you can also use your third ability to create the chaining reaction. It starts bouncing around and it's going to help you with clear. Yep, that's the ability. It's quite powerful. And on top of all of that, we have hotshot stacks. And how do you get hotshot stacks? With heat procs with ability. Massive radius, constantly generating heat. Hotshot is always capped, giving you 300% critical chance to all of your weapons, including melee weapons. It's really good. It's just really good. There's so much synergy here, and it finally makes her fourth ability usable. There we go. I'll spawn a couple of suns over here and over here. Now I'll respawn these enemies, and these enemies will despawn in seconds. Oh my god. Yep. It's really nice. Alright, that's it. Those are 2 builds. Now I'm going to show you my shards. For the shards I'm using here, 1 yellow for cast speed. This will make all of her abilities cast quicker, and 4 plus 50% ability strength. If you like the second setup more than the first one, you can remove 10 Tau Forge Crimson Shard for 1 Tau Forge Emerald Shard for +3 corrosion procs. Remove Growing Power for corrosion projection, and that will allow you with 13 stacks of corrosion and corrosion projection to fully armor strip any enemy, which is a good choice if you want. If you think fully armor stripping is useless and enemies die way before they get armor stripped, this is fine. This is absolutely fine. You have 60% ability strength from this and cast speed. Quite nice. So that's it. Those are the shards. And it's time for me to go into a Steel Path mission finally. So let's go. And we are in. I'm up against the corrupted enemies at the Void. Steel Path, of course. It's survival. The map's called Mod. I'm going to show you this build here. This is the Cataclysmic Gate setup. Kind of like this setup a lot more now. I do like my Nourish setup with a large amount of ability strength. But this is just slightly different. That's it. I'll spawn one sun up here. Perfect. That's going to clear up there. We'll spawn one over there. Maybe not there. Maybe like here. There we go. And I'll spawn one over here. And recast this one there. Perfect. Look at those orange crits. Thanks to Hotshot and her fort ability generating all the heat. 1 million easily. Boop, boop, boop. So nice. Her fort ability is finally useful, even if it's an augment, a band-aid. I wish she would spot her kit, so I don't have to remove one of the mods for her augment, but hey. Rhino Roar recast. Oh my goodness. It's so nice. You have Rhino Roar and her first ability and Hotshot for your weapons, and you have a bunch of mods to buff your fourth ability and your third ability. Recast this. Look at that. It staggers them. It's so nice. I saw a red crit. These poor bastards. They can't even get close to me. I will use it like here, so I allow them to go down the stairs to get to me. If you think the range is way too high, remove overextended for something else. Transient Fortitude is fine. Adaptation, you can do that as well. Make yourself a little bit more tankier. This won't kill the Acolyte fast, and you can't armor strip Acolyte with your fort ability. Even if you have 13 stacks of corrosion, you can't. Acolytes can only have 4 status effects on them. So you have to shoot your guns, but that's fine. We have Fire Rate from her 1, Hotshot, Critical Chance, and Rhino Roar. So where the hell is the Acolyte? There he is. Violence. And that's violence. Easy. Recast this, recast that, and over there, and over there, and you just see numbers. It's very good. Alright, it's time for me to leave, and be right back. And there you go, that's both of the Wisp builds. I hope you enjoyed them. They're both fun, they're both really good. You can easily do all content with them. They're both really, really good. Those are the builds. That's the Warframe. I hope you enjoy the builds. Thank you yet again everybody for watching. Leave a like, sub, and of course, see you all next time. Thank you. Goodbye.